Leah and Michelle. We thought we were done for the day. This is Resistance Chicks, January 26th, 2017. It's Thursday. This story kind of hits a little bit close to our hearts, right?
Yeah.
We raised pigs. Beautiful, lovely, adorable pigs.
But I couldn't imagine if they were human pigs.
Yeah, they're already too smart for their own good.
Oh my gosh, so if you can see some of these images behind me.
Oh, come on.
No. And I was just kind of appalled.
She comes home and she's like, no, we have to do another segment. And I was like, no, we're not doing another segment. She's like, no, it's a pig, it's a human. It's a pig, it's a human, it's human and a pig. And then she split eyes. I said, no. I said, Leah, we're not doing that story. Fake news. She's like, no, Michelle, this is not fake news. I said, I don't care what your source was. This is fake news. This is not real. This doesn't happen. It's fake news. I said we're never bringing fake news.
Guardian, it's on the New York Times.
I don't care if it's National Geographic. It's got to be fake. This can't be real. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is real. You guys, this is real.
Human-pig hybrid created in lab. Here are the facts. Now, this is from the National Geographic, okay? They're spinning it in a positive light because what they want to do is they want to, and I'm getting sick to my stomach. I'm going to puke here just as I read this because they want to create a pig and grow human organs in there and then harvest them. If you've ever seen the movie The Island with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor, they take your cells,
a clone, they make you, yeah,
and then you get to go to the island and then they come and harvest your cells if rich people ever need an organ.
Right.
So that's essentially what they're doing to pigs, and I gotta tell you, the ethical bar on this has been just
shattered,
obliterated. You should get my little picture of my little pig off the wall there, show people our little pig as I read this.
As I go in front of the camera.
Scientists hope, and this is what I started to research, is the Chimera embryos represent key steps towards life-saving lab-grown. This is our little
Leah painted
this. Of my little guy. He's now
this was Malachi.
Red. He's a big boar now.
He's a big boar, but he was a little piglet. Isn't he so cute?
I can't imagine him as a human. I just don't want to do that right
now. They're already so weird. They're so smart.
So this picture here, this pig embryo, right here, that would be the phone ringing.
I'm gonna go stop it.
You should go stop it. This pig embryo was injected with human cells early in its development and grew to be...
Start that over.
Okay.
Wait, let me come back into the shot here.
All right, we'll just cut it out. Okay, so this behind us is the deal, okay? This pig embryo was injected with human cells early in its development and grew to be 4 weeks old. Now I'm going to take you through it. This is in favor. This is a totally biased article. I'm going to read the article and kind of interject. In a remarkable, if likely controversial, you think, feat, scientists announced today. All I can see is Planet of the Apes, but with pigs running through my mind. I can just see, when you see wild boars running through like Florida and everything, like the human wild boars, it's like so,
here's the thing you need to know about pigs. I can't do this right now. They're so irrational, okay? If they're hungry, they scream. If you look at them wrong, they scream. If you go to pet them, they're happy and they scream. If you turn into we're gonna have these human pigs. It's just
not
ridiculous.
Even the
this is not okay.
I gotta tell you what, guys. This is Resistance Chicks. We know that if this is what they're telling us, it's because they're trying to.
It's a magic trick. It's always look over here, look over here while they're doing
something doing bigger than this. They're just giving us a little piece of the pie. They probably already have organs growing.
Yeah.
And this is what they're telling us right now. Right. I guarantee you. Scientists announced today. This is, and I gotta tell you that they've already got it going on. Like they already have this. I know it. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt as I'm reading this that it's already. Okay, they don't put it out on the market for like humans. What they do for like the elite, whatever.
Right.
They've created the first successful human-animal hybrid. The project. This is why GMOs.
Why would you ever need a human-animal hybrid?
This is why I am opposed to GMOs. You cannot and should never put the DNA of a vegetable in with an animal, because that's what they're doing with the GMOs. They're actually putting bacteria DNA into this corn. It's a hybrid. It's a GMO. It is against God. I gotta tell you.
My mom calls it sorcery. You guys need to understand.
Witchcraft.
This is exactly
Alchemy.
it is.
This
It's
is
alchemy.
witchcraft.
It's witchcraft. It's sorcery.
It's playing
evil.
God. It is
kinda
playing
like God.
the whole that God particle they're trying to do with what's it call it?
Over there at CERN.
The project proves that human cells could be introduced into a non-human organism, survive, and even grow inside of a host animal, and in this case pigs. I tell you that they've got this going big time, if this is what they're telling us. The biomedical advance has long been a dream and a quandary for scientists.
A dream.
Hoping to address the critical shortage of donor organs. Listen, I don't want people dying, but this isn't wrong. This is the wrong way to do it. Every 10 minutes, a person is added, blah, 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 blah. Watch pig lungs or filter human blood in a lab. These are pig lungs. But the blood is from a human. How are they alive? I mean,
Well, they're not really
which means
alive.
they can
They're just being
oxygenate the
pumped.
human blood. What about without this gene modification, the lungs would
At
reject
this
blood?
point, an animal or a human wouldn't have any problems to use those lungs as a replacement for human lungs.
Listen to that happy music there. Makes it all sound okay. Like, hey, isn't this so fun? We're just growing some pig lungs in the lab that have human genes in it so they can take human blood. It's so great.
They're trying to create a whole nother organism. Okay? I don't know that I'm so against a pig, like I've seen pig eyes going to human eyes.
Right. Yeah, that's totally different.
It's still a separate part of you, right?
But they had to insert human genes into that.
This is a hybrid. This is a hybrid being.
Right, exactly.
So, and they grow from the growth state. That's now one step closer to reality. An international team of researchers led by the Salk Institute reports in the journal Cell. The team created what's known scientifically as a chimera, an organism that contains cells of two different species. Read more on the DNA.
Except for, if you know anything about Greek mythology, the chimera is a Greek god. So I love that that's what they've chosen there.
In the past, human-animal chimeras have been beyond reach. Such experiments are currently ineligible for public funding in the United States. I just read another article where they are being funded for in the United States. They just, man, they lie out. They lie out there.
The wazoo.
Wazoo. So far, the Salk team has relied on private donors. Yeah.
So far. Mm-hmm.
Public opinion, too, has hampered the creation of organisms that are part human, part animal. Yeah, a little bit. But for the lead study author, Yoon Woo of the Salk Institute, we need only look to... And this is very interesting. This is what when I read this, I was like, he's saying, we only need to look to mythical chimeras like the human-bird hybrids we know as angels for a different perspective. Okay. First of all, we're not going to go into theology of angels, but they're not human-bird hybrids. They're different creatures. God created them and didn't hybrid anything. They were before us. But for lead study, in ancient civilizations, chimeras were associated with God. So it's good, right?
Yeah.
He says, and our ancestors thought that the chimeric form can guard humans. In a sense, that's what this team hopes human-animal hybrids will one day do.
You guys,
witchcraft
you
right here.
cannot make a human-animal hybrid ever. Like, you guys, they're not just limiting this to organ growing for people that are sick. You guys need to understand.
From abortion. If you think that you can just kill a human,
right,
then you can just
make a human.
Make a human and then just random.
But it's not even a human. You guys think about this. This is circular reasoning. People want to be able to have abortions for babies that may have Down syndrome, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to.
And other disabilities, because they say that child will not have the full quality of life as a human being. So what about the pig-human hybrid? Are we saying that we have now taken a pig and given it more than what it would normally have? Or are we taking a human being and degrading it and making it less than what it could have been? If you're worried about a disability where Down syndrome babies are beautiful and wonderful and full of life, and you talk to any Down syndrome parent, and they will tell you that they love that child and they would never give it up in a million years. And yet, you have the abortionists that want to be able to kill those children, and those are the same people that are now saying we want to create pig hybrids? Oh my gosh!
Okay, the chimera was a hybrid monster in Greek mythology, child of Typhoeus and Echidna, and sibling of Cerberus. This is part of the reading in the Bible. I read it, but I didn't actually read it out loud. I read it. And the
Lernian.
Okay, Hydra.
Lernaean.
It had the head and body of a lion, as well as the head of a goat that was attached to its back, and the tail that ended on a head of a snake. And it resided in Lycia, a place in Asia Minor, where it ravaged the lands with its fire breath. It was killed by Bellerophon, assisted by Pegasus, when the former was asked by King Labates of Lycia. See, I don't know Greek mythology very well. I do know the stars. Bellerophon rode on Pegasus' back, who could fly, and shot arrows at the chimera from above.
We're going to have many of you be putting pronunciation.
I know Greek mythology. You need to learn Greek mythology.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Okay.
The point is that this is not a good thing.
There are two ways to make a chimera. And every time I think that now, it's listening to like weird witchcraft. The first is to introduce the organs of one animal into another, a risky proposition because the host immune system may cause the organ to be rejected, which they do. I think they do use pig tissue on humans right now.
And you want to know another reason why people think this is okay? Because evolution calls humans animals.
Right.
So it's just one animal from another animal, and that's how abortion can happen, because we're just debased to animals.
Right. The other method is to begin at the embryonic level, introducing one animal's cells into the embryo of another and let them grow together into a hybrid. See, one I don't have as much problem with if you're going to try to introduce an organ into a human and just keep it going. It's not so much different than putting in some like mechanical thing. But when you actually go at the embryonic level, you're creating essentially a whole new being.
Right.
A whole new life. And it sounds weird, but it's an ingenious way to eventually solve a number of vexing biological problems. We're going to talk about stem cells just a little bit here too. When scientists discovered stem cells, the master cells that can produce any kind of body tissue, they seem to contain infinite scientific promise. But convincing those cells to grow into the right kinds of tissues and organs is difficult. What if you're trying to make a pancreas and it creates brain cells and creates a whole new brain? Cells must survive.
It gives a whole new meaning to like artificial intelligence.
In petri dishes. What's interesting is they don't really talk about in this article how they use aborted babies to get these embryonic stem cells. Now I want to kind of talk a little bit about them. Stem cells are immature cells that are undifferentiated, i.e. they have not decided what kind of cell to be. The stem cell divides into two cells. A duplicate of itself and a cell that develops into more specialized cell type, i.e. an eye cell, liver cell, skin cell, blood cell. Since stem cells replace themselves every time they divide, they are capable of long-term self-renewal. Because they are immature, stem cells can be used to treat injuries or diseases. Scientists can make stem cells reach their full healing potential by developing procedures that mature them into the correct type of stable tissue that functions normally. Then, by making them safe for transplantation, and finally by developing surgical procedures that maximize their ability to treat and cure diseases. This sounds great, but you can get adult stem cells, okay? Whatever you scientists do your thing. Usually a miscarried baby, you really can't use those tissues. So, human embryonic stem cells, which are HESCs, are harvested from human embryos that are typically between 3 and 6 days old. At this point, the blastocyst consists of up to 140 cells. Most of these will form the placenta. A small anterior cluster of cells are the pluripotent stem cells, able to produce all of the many different types of cells in the human body. Think about how God created that.
It's amazing. The complexity of the design there is just beyond
comprehension. We should not mess with this.
No.
This feature of HESCs makes them very attractive to scientists. Harvesting HESCs involves removing the inner cell cluster from the blastocyst and culturing it with various growth factors to produce specific types of cells. The procedure always results in the destruction of the early human being. This means that this procedure is morally equivalent to an abortion. in my opinion, can never be allowed. There are also extremely serious medical problems with these stem cells. Their growth is very difficult to control, and they usually produce fatal tumors or convert themselves into cancer cells. Finally, cells transplanted from an embryo are always attacked by the recipient's immune system, so the patient must be treated with immunosuppressive drugs that have a variety of side effects. Since these difficult problems have not been overcome, all that embryonic stem cell research currently offers is promises of future cures. And we've seen them. And then there's adult stem cells, defined as a stem cell in a human being older than a 7-day embryo. These cells are found throughout the body and in the umbilical cord. Their purpose is to replace damaged or worn out cells throughout a person's life. Adult stem cells can currently cure more than 70 medical conditions. They're taken, but that no life has to be taken. You can take these out.
I want to hit this really quickly because tomorrow's the March for Life, and this kind of goes
huge
hand in hand. But do you all have had friends and family members that have tried to have a child and they can't?
Right.
And it is such a big deal. And biblically, when you go back to the Bible, all of the great women of faith, practically, not all of them, most of them in the Bible, were trying to have children. And it was a big deal.
Anyone that was married was, and then all the stories were written down.
Right. But what I mean is that the stories about women in the Bible, aside from Deborah and a couple of other ones, the great heroines of the Bible, their claim to fame was having faith in God to have children. So when you're talking about this embryo, you're talking about an incredible miracle that has taken place, that life has been created in that moment. And so to talk about taking that life in order to do research or to heal another human being, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go on in discussion before you even attempt
but if
that
you
sort
can,
of thing.
That's the kind of mindset. It's a slippery slope. If you can take the life, to try to save another life,
right?
Then you can do this human pig hybrid. So at first, Juan Carlos Bizua Belmont, a professor at the Salks Institute Gene Expression Laboratory, thought the concept of using a host embryo to grow organs seemed straightforward enough. However, it took Belmonte and more than 40 collaborators 4 years to figure out how to make a human-animal chimera. I guarantee you that the dates and stuff they're giving us are not true. What's interesting is they jumped from, the team piggybacked off of prior chimera research conducted on mice and rats. Now, we can tell, I guess there's really a lot of differences between mice and rats. They're totally different. But to us, they're so similar that they jumped from mice and rats to pigs and humans is beyond my understanding. I guess they went to the embryo stage. And here's a picture of a pig blastocyte being injected with human cells. And they took a picture of it. When those just right human cells were injected into the pig embryos, the embryos survived. When they were put into adult pigs, which carried the embryos for between 3 and 4 weeks before they were removed and analyzed, in all, the team created 186 latter stage chimeric embryos that survived. We estimate each had 1 in 100,000 human cells. So it was a 100,000 human. That's a low percentage and could present a problem for the method in the long run, which I'm hoping for. The human tissue appears to slow the growth of the embryo, notes Chang, because pigs only take 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. And so humans take 9 months. The organs grown from such embryos as they develop now would likely be rejected by humans since they would contain so much pig tissue. Well, luckily, but I'm guessing that they've got this figured out. This is what they're telling us.
It's all about power and money and power-hungry people that just say, I want to be able to say that I created this life. And guess what? You didn't. All you're doing is sorcery and messing with life. You're not creating this life, and you're not God. There is only one God.
And so another thing that is really disturbing here is that in August, Obama, the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, is preparing to end a year-old ban on publicly funded scientific research into human-animal hybrids. So this is an article from August, and they're just now coming out with this. Now, National Geographic had said, oh, no funding. But the proposed rules would allow scientists to receive federal funds for the creation of chimeras, embryos that use human stem cells to combine human and animal traits. This is under Obama. Obama wanted to do this. Obama made so many crazy things happen. We have to undo everything. It's a nightmare. Oh, this is Obama's fault.
This is probably going to make its way to Trump's desk, and I can just see Trump like, no.
It's back in August, the federal government announced plans to lift a moratorium on funding of certain controversial experiments that use human stem cells. The fact they're using the words chimera, okay, it just goes to show me how Satan is in the government and how we got to get it out. It says one issue is that scientists might inadvertently create animals that have partly human brains.
You guys, we are so worried about computers creating an artificial intelligence, but now we're talking about the only intelligence that really exists is human intelligence.
What if they
We're talking about inserting that into humans. Don't you think the potential there is a little bit more scary?
And human eggs to breed, and human embryos or fetuses inside these animals.
You guys.
But scientists have argued, don't worry, they could take steps to prevent those outcomes.
Yeah, y'all saw Jurassic Park. They were supposed to take steps to make it so that the animals were all female.
Find a way. Oh man.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum says life will find a way.
Do we need to criminalize these experiments to get the scientists to stop?
Yes.
I mean, I don't even.
I would like a gavel. I want a gavel. I'm sorry.
All right, so the fact that they're coming out with this article now, and they came out with the article in August, means that they're doing some serious, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's witchcraft.
It's witchcraft. It is demonic.
No, it's witchcraft.
So, all right, stop.
Little
Stop.
Frankie.
Stop it. Pro-abortion, Barack Obama issued an executive order allowing funding on life-destroying embryonic stem cell research, including for human-animal hybrid embryos. That was in 2009. This rescinded President George Bush's policy prohibiting taxpayer funding for these life-destroying practices.
This is Resistance Chicks signing off with our pig human behind us here. Please like the video and share it and subscribe and ring the bell if you want to get notifications and pray. Yeah.
I was called